What does your favorite food taste like?
Um, I really like mac and cheese, so it's really cheesy.
What three words describe you best? What three words describe you worst?
Katya Maria Cecile um, describes me best. The words that describe me worst are terrible, evil, and lazy.
Why is your best friend your best friend?
My best friend's my best friend because he's really happy all the time and makes me happy whenever I'm around him.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way we communicate?
Um, I guess we spend more time like not actually interacting with people, and I feel like digital talking is like a lot slower. Like the conversation that I would have with someone in 5 minutes, I would have over the course of like an entire day texting. So it's kind of slowing down conversations with people, but at the same time we're having conversations with more people at the same time. So it's like quantity over quality.
What does your favorite food taste like?
Um, my favorite food is mashed potatoes. They're really creamy, buttery. There's something my mom always makes, so that's what I go to.
What three words describe you best? What three words describe you worst?
Purple lamppost mom. Describe me worst. Be angry, loud, fat.
What are you most afraid of and why?
Failure. Because it's fucking scary. Oh, am I not supposed to do that?
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way we communicate?
I think it's having various effects on how we communicate. I think it's impacting how we communicate with our friends differently than how we communicate with strangers. Because with strangers, it becomes, I feel like it's more alienating because you don't choose to talk to strangers when you have instant contact with any friends you have all across the US or the world, depending on who you are. And having that sustained contact with your friends allows you to maintain those relationships and maintain a closeness with your friends despite being separated by distance.
Why do you want to be a doctor?
Uh, because I like science. I mean, that's the obvious. I think that's the obvious answer, and like obviously, like, oh, helping people. But yeah, I've always had a love for science. I think biology and like the human body in general is just really cool. How it really fits together. All the homeostasis stuff. Um, and it's like a million little machines fitting in together, and it's really cool. And so like going off of that, I think it's um, worth knowing how like exactly how those machines influence each other, or at least to the extent that's already been discovered. Like we don't even really know everything about it thus far, but um, I think it's something that's sort of to do with preparedness. Like if this goes wrong, what can you do to fix it? And it's sort of a problem. I would like the problem solving approach, and yeah.
What three words describe you best? What three words describe you worst?
Thinking of Brendan's his purple lamppost mom. Skinny. Um, Introverted. And impulsive. And then for the ones that just don't describe me, I mean, I could just go with the opposite, huh? Well, I mean, like, I don't think of myself as very extroverted. Um, I forgot what I wrote, so this is actually kind of difficult. uh... Someone's getting in the hallway. Um, I'm not organized, and I'm not fat. Let's just go with that.
Would you rather be loved or rich? And
I
why?
would rather be rich
Why?
because it's the practical answer. Because in this society, it's material wealth that gets you by in life, unfortunately.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way we communicate?
Well, in my case, it gives me a hell of a lot of time to think, so I don't sit there staring at the camera like an idiot. I think it speeds up the rate of communication, but it also makes communication a lot more shallow, because most of the time people aren't going to necessarily think about what they write, so it's just about convenience, and you can write something and send it off immediately, and you don't take as much time to think about it, and you also don't get that sort of emotional, like, personal connection with the person that you're talking to.
What are some of your artistic inspirations?
I'm inspired by like anything that kind of has a like digital yet handmade quality. So artists, like fine artists that work in like paint, like and express a lot of emotion. I really like that. But I am personally a designer, so I like things that communicate something a little more like effectively and direct, but through a digital medium have like a handmade quality to them.
What are you most afraid of and why?
I'm afraid of death because it's like the last thing and it's pretty permanent.
What 3 words describe you best? What 3 words describe you worst?
Best, creative, frantic, and what was another one? Oh, caring. Worst, green, organized, and mean. No, that one describes me. I don't know. Stoic.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way we communicate?
I think digital technology takes out a lot of the like speech mannerisms that people have, so you can't really tell people are saying or how they're saying it, or like the inflection of in their tone. So I think a lot of communication that's like very human is lost.
Why is your favorite movie your favorite movie?
I think because I've seen it like 9 times, and it's like a song where every time you watch it, or you listen to a good song, you hear something new. Not a lot of movies have done that for me, so I guess that would be why. I relate to it. I could really go on about this for a while, probably longer than this project needs.
Would you rather be rich or loved, and why?
Loved. Because love is the best currency. No, loved honestly because it's impossible to be completely unhappy.
What 3 words describe you best? What 3 words describe you worst?
Best, determined, honest, and creative. Worst would be Jewish. I'm not. This is a tough one. Chill. I'm pretty amped all the time. It's probably something near. And complacent.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way we communicate?
It's changing the way we communicate more than anything else, which is the ultimate affection, I think. I don't know, it's just, I have conversations with people where they say, why can't we just text? I like to call still. I don't like texting. I think texting takes too long. Why can't, let's just talk. I can say it so quick. So I think it's short, it's abbreviating and manipulating it to be succinct in a way that people aren't. Like, here I am rambling on about this. I would never write this all out because who the hell wants to look at this? So I think it's crafting a society where people are less external. People are focusing less external, more just here. It's like it's a whole world here. You can find out everything you want to find out. So in a way it's great. In a way it's not, because you miss a lot.
Why is your favorite film your favorite film?
So that's my favorite movie is Lion King, and the reason that it's my favorite movie is because I have a really close relationship with my dad, and whenever like there's a scene where it's like, you're always going to be around, Dad, and he's like, look at the stars, I'm always like completely in tears. So yeah, that's why that's my favorite movie. But I also say, like, when I'm talking to real film people, like, I'm like, oh, The Prestige is my favorite movie because Christopher Nolan is an artiste, and I like ignore the Lion King part. But Lion King is straight up my favorite movie. Prestige is my favorite thinking hard movie and feeling smart movie. So yeah.
Would you rather be loved or rich, and why?
I remember my answer, I said rich. And I probably will still stick with that just because, I don't know, there's a lot of things I like to do, and I like to eat good food, and I like to travel, and I like to like go to art exhibits and see movies, and I feel like the whole world runs on money. And so I think it's important, like the things that I love to do usually have a financial component, and so if I want to do the things that I'm really passionate about, I have to have the money in order to do those things. So yeah.
What 3 words describe you best? What 3 words describe you worst?
Outgoing, creative, and independent. Although independent and outgoing are kind of the same, but also different in ways. Worst, social, confident, and unmotivated? I don't know. Yeah, those are my words.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way that we communicate?
I think it's really affecting the way that we communicate because I feel like most people, like, when they think about communication, they don't think about face-to-face communication as much anymore, and they think more about like, oh, I'll text you, I'll Facebook you, I'll tweet at you, I'll Snapchat you, all these different ways that we communicate. And there's so many more non-face-to-face communications than face-to-face communications these days. In my business class, we were talking about face-to-face communication, and we're talking about how in a business setting, like, emails are the primary form of communication, which has been causing companies a lot of trouble because they're good for like general, like, I need you to do this by this day type thing. But when you're trying to communicate like complex emotions or like sarcasm, like, I'm a very sarcastic person, and when I text people sarcasm, sometimes they think I'm being real, and they're like, Sarah, like, wait, what happened? I'm so confused. And I'm like, no, I was being sarcastic, all good. So yeah, like, digital communication is not that effective in some senses. So yeah.
What are some of your artistic inspirations?
I'm really inspired by personal experience and the things I've survived and things people I care about have survived, and like stories of growth that everyone I know has had.
What are you most afraid of, and why?
I think since a young age I've been very afraid of being ordinary. I don't know really why. I guess to me, I've always associated achievement with being exceptional and being like different or nonconformist, and so for me, like, ordinary translates into like a failure in some way. I guess it maybe is linked to like a deeper fear of failure.
What 3 words describe you best? What 3 words describe you worst?
Badass motherfucker describes me best, and worst is lazy dumb bitch.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way we communicate?
I think it's encouraged us to be emotionally lazier, and we don't want to express how we feel, so we use so much coding and so many buffers through it, and I think it's made us even more afraid of our emotions.
Do you consider yourself an artist?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I consider myself I don't know if I'm a good artist, but probably yes.
What 3 words describe you best? What 3 words describe you worst?
Best? Funny. Wait, that's a confusing question. Do you mean what 3 words describe me, like, are my best descriptors? And, like, which ones are the most inaccurate? Okay. Then I'd say the best descriptors would probably be mature, funny, and sarcastic. And bad or worse would be rude. No, wait. Oh shit! This is a mind fuck. But skip. Can I skip? Can I call a friend? Okay, I'm skipping. Sorry.
What does your favorite food taste like?
French fries. That's it.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way that we communicate?
I think digital technology, especially social media, makes it easier for a lot of people to hide behind their words. And I think a lot of people are more brave, would say things they wouldn't say to your face. But I think it also enables relationships, and in this world that has more use of digital media and digital technology and social media, it's also opening new doors in terms of communication. So it's good and bad.
What does your favorite food taste like?
What's my favorite food taste like? And it should be warm. Sorry. I like French fries. It tastes like French fries.
Would you rather be loved or rich, and why?
Loved. Just never been rich, but I feel like it would be pretty sad to not be loved.
Why is your best friend your best friend?
Just like can't get away from her, you know? Just like right there all the time. I don't know, like any of like my best friends, like it just sort of happened and you find a common ground and you just you spend time with them and you want to keep spending time with them. That's how all friendships really work.
How do you think digital technology is affecting the way we communicate?
I think that when people get used to communicating over digital technology, they start feeling like that's the best way they can talk, because they can think about their responses and they're smarter, they're clever over it, and it makes them, I think it sometimes makes people worse at communicating in person because they want to have that, they want to be their best version of themselves with forethought. It sort of isolates and also brings people together.